We once did an audition for 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Where we read against each other.
Yeah.
For the same part, but we did
Cheddar
each other's
Bob?
off camera.
Yeah,
to
Cheddar
send
Bob.
in.
Cheddar Bob.
Yes,
Cheddar Bob.
yes.
Yeah, we realized we both had auditions for it, and so we scheduled them back to back and just switched.
Did each other's
We just
reading.
did each other's
Did you
reading.
sabotage each other?
We just couldn't stop laughing.
What happens when you put a group of comedy actors around a table to open up about their lives and careers? Exactly what you'd expect. 6 of the funniest men on TV, each with a different style, but all with something to say. Adam Brody, Ted Danson, John Mulaney, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, and Julio Torres. They're all on the record, but just a little off script with The Hollywood Reporter. Hi, and welcome to the Comedy Actor Roundtable. I'm your host, Lacey Rose. Thank you all for being here. Let's get started. I'm gonna start with a question for everybody. What is the wildest or most amusing thing you've all read or heard about yourself?
Who wants to go?
I was gonna do Io. Edibiri was on your show and
Yeah.
gave a letterboxd review of
she
the
did.
show and of you. John Mulaney, sober and a father, is basically spiritually on crack.
Yeah.
Which was a fun one.
I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
I do feel more, I do feel so settled in my life now that I can be more of a psychopath in work. So it did really, that actually touched me a lot.
I have two reviews
Great,
that
love
stick
it.
in my head, just little quotes. The headline was "Too Tepid Ted."
Oh no! It got you with alliteration.
Tepid Ted.
Oh, and Mr. Thinks He's So Wonderful Danson.
Was that two different things?
Yes.
Whoa! And together, your Too Tepid Ted thinks
very-
Mr. Thinks He's So Wonderful. That's your full your full name is Too Tepid Ted. Mr. Thinks He's So Wonderful Danson.
I did a movie in New Orleans, and I ate a
tall
lot. I wish. I had eaten a lot of food during this movie, and I gained a bunch of weight. And the review, which was a very nice review, said Jason Segel, an actor on the verge of a Gerard Depardieu-style expansion.
Expansion?
Expansion.
Expansion.
Physical expansion. You fought that off nicely.
Thank you. Thanks.
Maybe that's what you needed.
If you saw a Seth Rogen type or an Adam Brody type or insert your name type in a character breakdown, do you have a sense for what that might be?
Ooh, wow.
It depends on the era, I guess. and
Okay,
the
so
age of the character.
take us through the eras of what a Seth Rogen
I think
type
at one
might
point
be.
it was like a schlubby stoner type,
Okay.
maybe evolved into like a neurotic middle-aged Jewish type.
Okay.
Those are the two, basically those are the two types.
Those are your two types, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Know
it.
your lane, I like
know,
that.
Yeah, those are the roles I give myself consistently, so I think I fit them nicely, yeah.
I feel, what was I? Rightly or wrongly, deservedly or undeservedly, it would be like a nerd, but then later a more confident nerd.
Hey,
I guess.
Good job.
But in a little bit of a like where there was the female version of like she's beautiful but she doesn't know it, you know? And
You're a manic pixie dream boy.
yeah, I'm a manic pixie dream boy.
Have you ever gotten a makeover in a show?
No.
Like where they take
in the
I understand. I understand. Like when I take off my glasses and
like where they take off your glasses
yes,
and they're
yes.
like, oh, he's so hot.
I'm going to do that throughout this roundtable. Guys. Whoa! Sing.
Superman all along.
I need a staircase too.
Do you have a sense for when things come your way, what a John Mulaney type is?
I think it has traditionally,
Yes.
when it's come up,
Yes.
and still means, I think, sort of like a genital-less, like, hey, blah, 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 like kind of like a soulless wooden boy who's fast on his
Oh.
feet.
And with these.
Yeah, all that stuff, yeah. like from the 20s, but now, it's a lot of things at once, yeah. It's
A
nice.
soulless wooden boy who's fast on his feet. That's a gorgeous descriptor.
Yeah, and it's certainly
Parentheses, a soulless wooden boy who's
fast on his feet.
Is that how you feel, Joe?
Can we have
No, not anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you really think that of yourself? You don't.
No, I don't think
you're-
that of myself.
So
I think
tell me
that's-
what you think of yourself. I mean,
Oh,
hot, cool,
is
smart,
John?
right?
This
According to John.
was not the question.
No, this is
But-
the follow-up.
Seated.
Ted has hijacked the interview.
No, I
Still
think
have.
I think
Not
that's
too
like
tepid
a,
now, is he?
If I read that that would be the breakdown version. I think that I'm much less nerdy than people think, by whatever that means. And I have, I think I feel a little more weight in my feet when I walk around.
And
now.
confidence. Good heavens.
yeah,
You
that's-
couldn't do what you're doing if you weren't.
Oh, that's the thing. I think we all have confidence that we have to hide. So you see,
Yeah.
I'm very modest, and I'm so grateful to be here at a round table. And so grateful. I can't believe.
Oh, I'm so
I can't believe
surprised.
by pursuing entertainment single-mindedly, I ended up, doing something in it. I'm so grateful and shocked and flattered.
Nice.
Yeah.
Humble to be with all of you.
Myopically going after one thing for 20 years.
Julio, do you know what a Julio Torres type is if you were to see it?
I think it depends on who wrote it.
Sure.
Because sometimes they just mean annoying young person I don't understand. It's like, oh, it's a barista with a purple streak. Got it. Yeah.
Yep.
Got it. It's I feel like.
Who's like on the phone when you're there?
Yeah, like a
little
With a personal problem.
Yeah, a barista with a little phone being like, my customers are microaggressing. I feel attacked.
Jason, if you see a Jason Segel type, what do you think people write that to me in?
Yeah. I'm drenched in a broadcast newsy sweat right now.
It just looks like a shine
No,
right
it
now.
does.
Yes.
it looks nice.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, it
Needed.
And also, for all they know, it's like 11 p.m. and we had a big dinner.
Totally.
How's this?
There you go. I'll answer
as opposed
fast.
to
I'll
it
answer
being
fast.
noon.
Ready? No, I think like I usually play like a guy who's like having a hard time with something, who's trying to make his way out of it, and everyone's like, "Oh, I hope he gets out of this jam he's in," and I got like big kind of dog eyes that make you feel like, "Oh, he means well."
That's good.
That is great. That is great. Looking back, what is the most challenging period of your collective careers, and what was the thing that turned it around?
After How I Met Your Mother came to an end, which was like a decade of being on one show and doing a bunch of romantic comedies and stuff, I decided I wanted to see if I was good at dramas. And so I like dove in hard, and I thought, look out, world. Here comes me doing drama. And it turns out nobody gives a shit. Like when you want to do a big career pivot, it's like no one cares but you. You have to care the most. But I did a movie called End of the Tour that like slowly...
No, that was great.
That was
Thank you.
amazing.
Really good.
Thank you. Well, that made me feel like, oh, you got like a shot at this. With like nobody saw it, but I felt like, oh, you can do it. And so that was important for me because I didn't want to be the guy who sat his whole life wondering if he could do something.
I believe you asked the director, I'm going to start quoting you, why it was sent to you. And he said, because David Foster Wallace was very funny and he was also very unhappy.
Yeah.
And every time you do comedy,
That's a good thing.
I can see in your eyes how unhappy you are. So far, this is tracking, yes?
Yeah, except that his quote was worse than that. He said, every time you do comedy, I can tell you want to kill yourself.
Oh, that is worse. That is. But cut to a few years later, and a producer of what became Shrinking sees you out walking, I believe, in Ojai,
Yeah.
and
Just
he
sobbing.
texts. No,
actually the
it's
opposite.
the exact
Yeah,
opposite.
so I moved to a little town where I'm very happy there, and I kind of prance around town. Ted knows this town, like I'm Big Bird. I like walk around and I wave at everybody. I'm like kind of a town mascot. And apparently a guy saw me like from across the street, and he texted Bill Lawrence, our creator, "Hey, Jason Segel seems like a happy guy. Let's work with him."
But is it not wild that you
Yeah.
go from one thing because you appear unhappy, and now you get this? I mean, ironically, you then make a show that is sort of deeply sad.
Yeah.
But the difference in there of I mean, there's a question of sort of what happens in between.
I think it's all the same guy. I don't know, like I work very hard at happiness to counter that it's not my default setting. So there's like a bunch of tools I use to get to zero, and by the time I get to zero, I feel pretty good. Yeah, but I don't start out the day that way.
But isn't everyone here? I mean, if you're really good at comedy, I think you also have a sadness that you're in touch with at least. And if you don't, I'm probably not that interested in watching you.
I think that's
really. Right. I think, you know, and the same thing about drama. If somebody doesn't have the wit to find humor in something dramatic,
Well, that I definitely agree with.
Yeah.
Well, it's
the
like
first one you did?
Well, they're both,
No,
but the
sorry.
second one, the second one, I don't want to see. I don't want to see much drama if there's no humor.
Yeah.
That's why James L. Brooks is like the king, prime era James L. Brooks. It's this, life is complicated and there aren't heroes and villains and you cry through the funny stuff and laugh through the tough stuff.
Yeah. Was there a period after Freaks and Geeks, Seth, where you were on, I believe, on Jason's couch, no?
I was just hanging out. I mean, I was just there hanging out a lot.
But I feel like I heard you say not too long ago that in those days post Freaks and Geeks, where you were sort of a little angrier at the industry and what was happening.
A lot of resentment.
I was smoking weed on Jason Segel's couch, complaining that I wasn't getting sent on the auditions that he was getting sent on.
Yes,
and
he had a
getting
stack
the
of scripts this big. I would come into his apartment every day, and I was like, wow, look at all those scripts. I don't have any scripts.
And what changed?
What changed?
What changed it?
I mean, I found luck. I mean, honestly, I think like fortune blew in my direction, luckily. Like, and I never stopped trying. And I was, we were very young. I was just also very young. I was 22 years old or something like that. So I was also just like a young person who expected, you know, the kind of world to bend to their will, you know, and that's not at all what you know, life was like at all. And so I just, I was, you know, there was a few years of unemployment after Freaks and Geeks, but looking back, it really wasn't that bad or hard, honestly. And I was constantly working with Judd Apatow to rewrite movies that he would get paid to rewrite movies, and he would sort of throw me and Evan, my partner, some money to help him rewrite the movies he was working on. And so, honestly, looking back, it's like it was kind of a frustrating time, and we were writing Pineapple Express throughout that time, and we were finishing Superbad throughout that time, and I feel like I kept seeing movies that were like had so much less care and thought put into them than the ones we were working on get made. And this was like a time of like particularly bad high school movies as well, I feel like, and kind of weed-related movies, which is what we really were trying to do, you know? And so it was frustrating, but at the same time, I got to rewrite Bad Boys 2, which not a lot of people did.
Nice.
I remember
which
that.
was pretty exciting.
I totally remember that.
It was pretty exciting looking back. No, I'd actually say after the interview came out was probably like a much harder time in my career, because I legitimately thought I had like eliminated myself as someone who was like viable to work with, and I was very worried that like no comedy we made ever again would seem funny because it had been taken to this like extremely serious place, you know? And so that was much scarier of a time, because I felt like maybe I had pushed things further than you can come back from with our material, you know?
But it was that experience that allowed you in many ways to make the studio, sort of what you were exposed to in that.
Yes, for sure. Because throughout the interview, we got exposed to like the real higher level echelon of like studio inner workings. And we were not just with like the executives, we were with like the CEOs in meetings all of a sudden. And so we saw a real raw version of the types of thought that goes into the decision making at the highest level of the studios. And I got to spend a lot of time with Michael Linton, who's an objectively terrifying human being, truly like a petrifying person, who had a completely, bizarre set of moral tools that he was using to make these decisions. Moral tools. That's a nice way of saying that, I guess. And so, I'd never been around people who run like multi-billion-dollar companies before, and that was, so the interview gave us that exposure, for better or worse. But we put a lot of that into the show.
Do you remember when you felt like, oh, I'm okay, this moment has passed?
I do, actually, because I got cast in the Steve Jobs movie kind of like right around when it was happening, and I was talking to Kate Winslet while we were shooting the movie, and I was talking about the stuff because it was like still petering out, and she was like, oh yeah, wasn't there something with you in some movie?
Right.
And I was just like, oh yeah, no one gives a shit about anything. Like, and no one remembers anything. And everyone's so, in a good way, like focused on their own shit that like, what this huge thing, just like, because it didn't happen to them, like 2 months later, they like completely forgot about it.
That's what I was gonna say. From the outside, I'm like, what is this valley that you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. For me, it seemed bleak.
Yes. I know
it,
just what
seemed,
you mean.
it seemed very
It
bleak.
also, I don't know. I mean, it also didn't seem like a bad look for you, from my perspective.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah,
cool.
among creative people, it was very badass.
Yeah, it seemed cool, but also what was a bummer is the movie, I think, and this is like the thing I honestly have the hardest time admitting, the worst thing is that it was not viewed as a good movie. And out of all the movies we made, it was received critically and just sort of by general perception as like worse than all the other ones. And to me, that was an unfortunate convergence of occurrences. Is the movie that we made that had like so much focus on it was also a movie that people were like, this movie's not very good and not as good as the other movies that they made. And so that was.
How do you feel about it?
I haven't watched it in a long time, honestly.
It's really funny.
I really
Thank you.
liked it at the
I
time.
appreciate it. My fear is I'll watch it and I'll feel that I could have done better, honestly. And so I don't go back to it because I don't like. I often watch a lot of my work and I'm like, I did as well as I humanly could have on this, and I'm very proud of it. And my fear is I'll watch that and be like, maybe I got lost in the sauce a little bit and thought it was funnier than it was, maybe.
But isn't it easy to lose sight of the fact, since we like do this so often and the people around us are doing it all so often, that every time you make something, you're like achieving the impossible? That's what I think every time.
I wish I viewed it that way.
Really? I do more and more now.
Created or acted in it?
Any of it. Like you were a fucking kid who like wanted to do acting or wanted to do writing, and then all of a sudden you're like doing it. I try to remind myself like, oh, you've already achieved the impossible. Now we're talking about gradients of like how well did it do? Did people like it? What were the reviews? But like, holy shit! It's like, you know, you grew up in this Roundtable environment.
Exactly. You were born on this table.
I take this for granted.
But this is, this is wild. You know, it's like we're among people like I admire everybody here. It's like crazy.
Adam, there was a while, I think, after the OC where you said you were sort of very precious about the roles you'd take or not take. And then I believe you got married, you had children, and your calculus changed. Can you sort of talk to me about that transition and how the choices differed on the other side? Because I'm guessing others may relate to this.
I wasn't like wildly precious, but I just, I was kind of, but I was, I guess, in hindsight, more precious than I needed to be, and I definitely passed on some things that would have been fun, even though I know they weren't that cool.
Why had you been passing? What were you precious sort of about?
I guess I was.
What'd you pass on?
I know, I'd love to tell you.
Name some cool shit you passed on.
It's nothing that cool. It's nothing that cool. That's the thing. But nothing, I guess I was like, okay, I'm on this teen drama. And I know I'm opinionated, and I know I have some, I like my taste. My talent, I guess, hit or miss, but my taste is pretty good. And I feel like I'd like it to represent what I do, to really represent that, because in any ways, I didn't find it, and then as my prospects dimmed and dwindled, I did get a little frustrated, and then finally, and it wasn't, maybe it was because I got married and had a child, maybe it was just because it was time anyway, but I kind of let go of the reins, and I said, I'll go to work, and I'll do the best thing around, and I love working, and it is such a joy, even at a mid-level, it's so fun, and it's such a treat, and you get to work with great people, and so I just went to work, like so many of my friends were and did, and had a great time, and ironically, that led to other better things anyway.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ted, in recent years, you've said, I want to keep working as long as I physically can because I want to know what it's like to be funny at every age. What is it like to be funny at this age, and how is it different than being funnier sort of earlier in your career?
It hurts a little more.
Okay.
When you see in the script, he runs, he scampers off this way.
Couldn't they scamper away from him?
Seriously, they had me run the other night. We're shooting, and it wasn't supposed to be a funny run, but I ran the only way I could, which is kind of like disguising that I can't really run by being slightly exaggeratingly funny about it. And they had hysterics, and it was like, Good. I'm glad you thought it was funny. I just barely made it. I want to go back a little bit.
Please.
And talk about that moment where things kind of shifted. Because after I had done 3 or 4 times, shows, Cheers, Becker, but I got to the point where I did not feel funny. I saw other people legitimately doing it better. I was scared when I opened up and saw a joke. It would scare me knowing that it was there to be funny and you needed to do it. And it's in 3 camera, it's like a dance step, you know, and you got to keep that rhythm and do that in that form. And I just kind of melted down. Not melted down, I just didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And 2 things happened. I tried to do some movies, small parts, do whatever, but what really changed was 2 things. One was Curb Your Enthusiasm and one was Damages. Curb Your Enthusiasm was showing up. You can just be funny in the moment and show up. There was no pressure of lines. And then Damages came along and it was so dark it was funny. And I had an acting coach. The producers came up and said, this was 2 nights before shooting. We'd love you to go see our acting coach.
Oh, no.
I had
Danson.
the good grace.
Mr. thinks he's so wonderful.
Mr. Things.
I had the grace to say, oh, yes, of course, and the good luck to say, yes, of course. And I went to this guy, and he was really brilliant. And he said, just read this, and I read it, and he went, okay, you can stop. He said, I can tell you're a really nice actor, because when you start this, I know you're going to finish it for me. You need to having the attitude of, maybe I'll say this next line, or maybe I won't, and fuck you. You can't literally do that, but you need that irreverence for the material that I'm not going to finish this thing. I'm going to, unless I feel like it. And he said that also matches the sociopathic billionaire who gets to do anything he wants whenever he wants kind of thing. And that kind of liberated me to go, oh.
Yeah. I love Damages. You're so great on it.
Yeah,
I followed Damages to DirecTV even.
A real fan.
What does that mean? You don't do anything till the other actor makes you do it?
Are you challenging me in the middle of this? No, like that. I mean, sorry, that was a bad example.
Oh, that was it.
He was doing it.
He just did it
He was
to
doing
you.
acting, man.
Oh,
Did you
But that was the repetition exercise. Did anyone else do Meisner thing? All right, never mind.
What's the repetition?
Sorry. But I mean, it's like acting when it's good.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I think, a contact sport.
Yeah,
You push someone and they push you back.
With the studio, Seth, you're portraying these studio executives as sympathetic people who seemingly, sort of, who seemingly dislike the fact that they're having to disappoint constantly directors and stars with notes that they don't really want to hear. That being said, what's the worst note you've ever gotten? You do not have to say who gave it.
I mean, we've gotten some very bad notes over the years. Like, we're trying to put like Michael Cera, Jonah Hill in something, and we're like, we think these guys are like got a future on their hands, and they're like, I don't see it necessarily. Like Emma Stone, I think they were like, that took some convincing, things like that. That it's shocking in retrospect. We got a note not that long ago. That was just they gave us a note on the scene, and it just said, this scene is not funny, and that was
It's a hard one.
Well, it's also like, if there's like one note designed to like not have people listen to you, that is the note. But truthfully, like notes used to really stress me out and I used to get bent out of shape at them. I now like feel no pressure to even
Perform on it.
acknowledge that I have gotten them in any way, shape, or form. I generally don't even look at them, and I assume if one is important, it'll make its way to me eventually. But I try not to, because I always want to do more stuff to the script, and I always think it could use work, and so like to me, it's sort of a work in progress the whole time, and so until I think it's really functioning properly, it's hard to consider too many other opinions, especially ones that are not given you by like people who are a part of your core creative team, But yeah, so to me, we get a lot of silly notes, but honestly, like, never feel any obligation to listen to them in any way, shape, or form.
I love it.
The best part of success is the notes start to go away.
Sometimes they don't know. I think
really?
no, I mean, I know people, who work on. I think it's who you work with as well. I think some people, even on successful things, get a lot of notes depending on. Sometimes when there's more success, and this is something I now am very in tune with, is the mentality of a lot of studio executives is to distance themselves from failure, but give themselves a close proximity to success. And so if something seems as though it's going to be successful, they actually want to be more involved in it creatively and give more notes. So once it's a hit, they can be like, "That's because of me." Like, and if
now
it
you
wasn't,
will thank me
yes, and if it
at,
wasn't for, you'll thank me at an award show. But if it wasn't for my notes, it would have never gotten there. And so that's the dance that's happening.
Julio, I'm curious. You're someone who famously, I presumably still don't have a credit card. You don't open mail. These all are still.
These are all
active.
still things. I still do not have a credit card.
Holy shit.
I have no credit
I have
score.
questions, but
Well, you can get to but has that aversion to the sort of elements of modern life ever sort of gotten in your way professionally?
Well, it's not an aversion to modern life.
Okay.
It's an aversion to
Paying for shit.
To debt.
no. It's an aversion to that. It's an aversion of being part of systems that I don't consent to being a part of.
Wow.
So I'm like, why am I being forced to have a credit score? According to who? Like, what, you're grading me on my credit? Like, no.
And the
It's-
opening of the mail means you miss presumably.
And the opening of the mail is because it's
Invitations
like,
and-
yeah, what do you want from me? Like, I don't know. like what? Like
Is everyone else looking
whatever's
at this
in the
and
mail,
saying,
I have
like,
no interest in.
Do you use email?
The inbox is exploding, but
Do you use text?
yeah. I feel like the texts are like reminder that there's this email, and then they just copy paste what was in the email.
Is your mind blown right now? What that?
His answer about the credit score is not a game he consented to. I just really enjoy. I really like.
I feel like you're working on a bit, and I like what's happening.
No. I was more like, can I apply this to my own life? And then immediately no.
No.
I need a credit card.
Because how do you buy the computer to email?
how do you buy anything?
Well,
Cash.
yeah, everything cash?
Check? I don't know. Sorry, you should answer.
Traveler's check.
Gold, you fool! No. But by credit card, I mean literal credit card. But I do have debit. I do have money in a bank.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just don't. I also, like, my family was burned very early on by that system, so I don't. The idea of debt really scares me. If I don't have the money, I don't want to
Spend it.
spend it. I don't know. It
you
just
do
seems like such a basic thing. Like I went to the school I went to because that's who made it possible financially for me to go. I would have never taken out a loan to go to school. I think that's insane. That's like a highly American thing of, oh, you want to go to school, you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life. It's like, what?
Wild.
Yeah.
It's like baseball. It's one of our unique.
Yes.
It's a gorgeous tradition.
Crippling
Would you do ads for Rocket Mortgage or something like that?
Okay, here's
They
the.
paid you in cash.
Okay, wait. Here's the. Here's the other thing. I'm definitely at a point where like I will never do a commercial for anything.
Me,
But that's not a.
Oh my God.
Starting now.
But then I have to like examine. It's like, is this me being an adolescent and me being like I don't do, and then I have to like step back and like still look at things on a case by case basis, and the answer still has remained no. But I don't know. I'm also like vegan, but if I wake up tomorrow wanting to have meat, I'll probably do it. I just haven't wanted to.
All right. What's the best or worst advice you've gotten from a fellow actor or filmmaker?
do commercials, buddy.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do. The idea of having more money sounds nice.
Doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Do you like the money and stuff?
See, the thing is, I don't have a lot of need for too much money. Like, I don't have kids. I'm fine renting. the vacations I go on aren't that expensive. So I'm like, what more
This
do I
whole
want?
table's going, I need to re-examine
everything.
everything.
You know what I was thinking is that I'm gonna sign him up. I'll pay it, but I'm gonna sign him up for a credit card.
You're gonna start getting credit scores sent to you. John Mulaney
I'll pay it
consented
on
to this.
time.
Yeah.
You'll have a good credit score, but you'll have a...
But why do I need the good credit score? Why do I need the good credit score?
No, I just
For comedy.
Remember on Montel Williams when someone would be afraid of cotton balls, so like a big cotton man would come out?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna book you an H&R Block commercial, and then I'm going to get you an
credit
Amex,
score.
Yeah, and a credit score. And then
If
lease
that's
you a
what
car
comes
and
out of
enroll
this, I
you
will be so
at an
thrilled.
expensive liberal arts college.
So, best or worst advice you got? Judd Apatow was once asked the note he gives most often, and he said, do you know what it is, Seth?
What is it?
I used to say to Seth Rogen, less jizz.
Less semen, more emotion.
Oh,
yeah,
there's
different words, semantically different.
variation on the same.
You told me less emotion, more
More
jizz.
semen, yeah, I know. But then thus is the balance.
But semen is emotional.
Not the way I was using it, I guess.
Is this semen referring to like dick jokes?
Yes, I think that was code for like less dick jokes, more on story emotionally, basically, which is a good, note to get. Judd would just scream boo from the other room sometimes.
Boo? What did that mean?
Boo.
Oh, literally boo.
Literally
Oh.
boo.
Oh.
If he didn't like what we were doing.
He once screamed at me, every time you laugh, it costs me thousands of dollars. Judd told me the only way you're going to make it is if you write your own material. And then the best advice I ever got was not from a filmmaker, it was from an ex-girlfriend who said, you should never take parts that another actor could do. She's like, you're a weird guy, lean into it. Only take things that like you can't imagine someone else playing.
That's actually really good
pretty
advice.
cool.
That's actually a really good thing for a partner to say, too.
I mostly take parts Adam Brody could do, but decided not to.
Lorne Michaels told me that he always pictured Mike Nichols sitting in the audience of every SNL, and he wanted to do a show that he would like or that he would like approve of. So I do that.
So who's your
Fred Armisen. Would Fred like this? Yeah.
Huh. Do you guys have a version of
I'm gonna ask him if he's liked what percentage of the work that you've done.
Yeah, I haven't met him. It's just on the Shining DVD. But Jack Nicholson is saying, like, he was telling Kubrick, like, it's gonna be so real. It's gonna be realer than real. And then Kubrick says, yeah, but is it interesting? And I think about that a lot in terms of like, it doesn't have to be real. It's it's pretend if it's,
What's the role that strangers want to talk to you about most?
I never told you this. I was once in Toronto, you're gonna love it. Someone screamed at me, hey, Seth Rogen. And I said, I'm not Seth Rogen. He said, yes, you are. I said, no, I'm not. He said, that's so Seth Rogen.
That's so Seth Rogen.
That's so Seth
In his defense, it is.
I got Tony Danza for some strange reason. It was, the first time it happened, I was in New York. It was like construction work. Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony. Oh, you're too good for us now?
You're Tony.
yeah, I get Adrian Brody for years and years.
Oh, yeah.
It's the name.
And they mean me when they're looking at me.
I call you Adrian Brody. Yeah. I get Seth MacFarlane. It confuses me a lot. Zach
I'll just
Galifianakis.
contrast.
Please.
Richard Kind and I work together about 400 days a year now for a couple of years. We just keep doing things
Broadway,
together.
yeah.
Big
Yep.
Mouth, Broadway, 2 seasons of this talk show. We'll meet up for lunch or something in New York City, and he'll be like, are people yelling at you on the street about the ticket price? I go, what? He goes, are people coming up to you and yelling at you about the ticket price of our show? I go, no, are they yelling at you? He goes, yeah. I go, no, they just go, can't wait for the show. And he goes, oh, people are coming up to me and going, no, $400 for a ticket? And I was like, oh, I wish I invited that,
So
the
what
way
does that
Rich
say
does.
about him and what does it say about you?
I think
You have rich fans.
Rich,
You have rich fans? He has old Nebuchadnezzar complaining Jewish fans.
yeah, but also I think the way, like, he invites, like, I might seem a little closed off, and he might be a little like, what's everyone thinking? That might be the energy he gives off. Come here, what are you thinking?
Looking back, which is the project you sort of fought hardest for?
I really wanted Blue's Clues early on when I first moved to LA.
And you fought
yeah,
for it?
I tried real hard. Yeah.
happened?
It's like 1999. I didn't get it, but I would have had it. I would have loved it, and Yeah.
You'd be that guy.
Yeah, the early. I also.
Wait, what do you mean you really want a Blue's Clues? Like,
I
kind of that-
auditioned for it. I would have loved to have been. It's like a show for toddlers. From I don't. I doubt
And then it came back. I think it came.
I think I heard.
I think it came
I think
back.
I'm vaguely familiar. That. There's an early Dawson's Creek role I really made me nervous to read with Scott Speedman.
Wait, which
sweating.
role?
Which role?
I believe it went to Michael Pitt.
Oh.
It's the
They
early,
wanted
but,
pouty lips.
but it's the early ones is the
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Like all the early ones made me so.
I look back mostly like I auditioned for hundreds and hundreds of things. I'm sure a lot of us did. And like, if anything, I marvel at how few of them turned out to be anything I would be remotely happy to have been a part of ultimately. And you build these things up in your head as like, if I get this, my whole life will be changed. And then you're like, it was Final Destination 4. And like, that
Probably was
it
just
would not
fine.
going to change my life in the way I had built it up to be. Like, it's interesting.
I was thinking about when you said I had the pile of scripts, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't get any of them.
No, it's true.
You know what I mean?
At
It's
that
like,
time, an audition was
Yeah,
a win.
it's a
like,
big
even
deal.
going out for an audition was a win.
we once did an audition for 8 Mile,
Yeah.
where we read against each other
Yeah.
for the same part, but we did
Cheddar
each other's
Bob?
off camera.
Yeah,
to
Cheddar
send
Bob.
in.
Cheddar Bob.
Yes,
Cheddar
yes,
Bob.
yes.
Yeah. Did you audition for Cheddar Bob
No,
too?
no, I'm just a fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Mally Finn, I think, was the casting
Yes.
director, and she was like, I don't feel comfortable reading the off-camera work because it's Eminem's character, and I don't think I could do that well. So, and this is a crazy thing to say. She was like, so you as the actor have to bring someone in to read with you off camera. Normally there's a
Wild.
reader
The
there,
casting
but
challenge.
she made it incumbent
like
on us.
that,
And then
yeah.
we realized we both had auditions for it, and so we scheduled them back to back and just switched.
Did each other's
we just
reading.
did each other's
Did you
reading.
sabotage each other?
We just couldn't stop laughing. Like the second it started,
did. We
it was
laughed
just
the
like, "Yo,
whole
what's up?"
time.
I was just like, "No,
Yeah.
I cannot do this." With
No.
My partner is an actor, and I read the other part for him as he was doing the self-tape, and he turned it in, and the one note he got was, get a different reader.
Oh God! They gave you notes.
They gave me notes.
Wild.
That's bad.
Yeah.
If you were guaranteed a green light, what project would you start working on tomorrow?
Guaranteed green light. You know who I'd love to play is Chief Brody from Jaws, but in a prequel about his life in New York as a cop before he got to Amity Island. But I don't have the rights to the book, the movie, any piece.
And there would be no shark in this.
No.
No, this would be like, and also, why is he so afraid of water?
Fair, that's fair.
Hudson River, big Hudson River scene.
Public pool.
Underwater fight. Yeah, public pool.
Public pool.
Inflatable shark.
I wrote a draft of Space Ghost as a movie with my friends Bart.
talk shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my friends Bart and Ashley, who made Yellow Jackets, that I love, that I would love to make one day.
Wait,
Yeah.
animated or?
No, live action, coming of age story about the superhero left behind.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, right?
Wait, but
Because he didn't want to be part of a team.
Without the, with the talk show or with no talk show?
There is a talk show.
There's a talk show.
I'm really I'm in what I would dream about being in, working with who I am and I'm very, very content.
Well, you're doing this fabulous show, and I'm maybe off, but this is the first time where age is sort of the butt of the joke. I'm curious, do you read something and it says set in a retirement home, and do you hesitate?
Oh, I want to do that.
Do you
no,
hesitate, or it's Mike Schur and you go
It's Mike
full
Schur.
bore?
It really is. It's Mike Schur. I thought The Good Place was remarkable, and he's just so bright, and he's doing. At 77, I want to be in things that are purposeful, that put something that I actually kind of care about, comedy, and something that makes people think to some degree, and he just fits that for me so well. Yeah, and it's fun to make use of who you are, in that moment of your life, and this is an opportunity to do that. So I'm just really couldn't be happier, for real.
What a nice place to be.
Yeah.
So nice.
Oh, really? Is.
When you were doing, when Cheers is at its height, and then you do Three Men and a Baby, and you're just like, those must have been very big moments and very busy times. Did you have a moment to yourself, or was it a very different kind of existence?
First marriage. So I was not the best husband in the world, and I wanted to act, and I, was happy to go do a movie during that, 2.5 months off that we had. It was thrilling and exciting, very rock and roll. Now I would hate it. I am, in a marriage that thrills me. I don't want to be away for 2 nights. So if somebody would offer me something in Budapest, no. I just can't imagine. I'm so, very, whatever it is. I'm so content where I am right now.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it is very nice.
It makes me realize how rarely I'm around someone who's happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with it.
But at what point did you get there?
I'm just examining. Am I full of shit? And I'm trying to.
You seem happy. No, you seem happy.
Did I mean any of that?
Is this real?
Is this real? That's a
Well,
fair
when did
question.
I get there?
Yeah.
I think I have always literally been so happy to drive through a studio gate and go to work and be around crews and other actors and writers. I am so thrilled to this day to do that. I think I've always been content. I've been fearful between projects, and I'll never work again. When I started this year of something that I was already kind of successful, I was just horrible to myself, to Mary, to I was just melting down in fear and lacks and all of that kind of stuff. So I am that guy too, but when I'm working, I'm just thrilled.
I feel like we all talk a lot about sort of process and how you get into the character, but how do you get out, and what are the things that make you feel normal again, that make you feel like you again?
Great question.
I actually feel very much me while I'm working. Like, I do. And I've been doing it for so long, and I feel like it is, to me, like a joyous act of expression, and I really love it, and I really am so happy when I'm on a set and when I'm working with people who I respect and who I think are smart and who are pushing me in new creative directions. And like, to me, like, I don't feel as though that is like a break from who I am or a divergence from who I am, but it is me really allowing myself to thoroughly explore a part of myself that I can't explore any other way. If I could, I probably wouldn't do it, you know what I mean? And so when I'm actively working, I'm like very happy. And the more jobs I have on a thing, the happier I am. Because I think the more engaged I am and the more expressive I can be in all the different aspects of the work,
Yeah.
I am my happiest when I'm creating something, but that something can be like moving furniture around my apartment and like redesigning a little corner of the apartment, or sketching out a little shirt that I want made, or anything that makes me feel like I'm creating.
How little?
Just little.
Really little.
Yeah, I'm my happiest when I feel like, and also like I feel like creating with someone is such an expression of love.
Totally.
My friends, I like to like collaborate and create with them. That I don't really believe in the sort of like genius auteur who's like out there in a corner and makes demands, and like everyone has to like, I know, but there's another way to live.
No, I'm useless alone. I've learned that. I absolutely need collaborators. Need, want, love. Like, I just feel completely, there's things that I do that seem solo, but I really am so happy to be in a room with people.
And then how do you
writing
unwind? Like, how do you get out of it? What's the thing you need to do to be you again?
Oh, there's no need to unwind. It's so fun. Comedy and stuff, yeah. I mean, truly,
That's
like,
the truth.
I laugh so much all day long. And then I go home and like now can laugh with my son. Like, so it feels like it feels like I just expanded a little, as opposed to I have this one self and then another self. It's just, yeah.
What's the most used emoji on your phone? It's revealing, you'll see.
Currently, it's the puzzle piece.
Interesting.
Huh.
What do you
What's,
use it?
yeah.
Oh, because you're a puzzle. You are
Well,
a mosaic of many things.
many things. No, I think it means like we're getting there, or like
Yeah.
or like that's a clue to something, or like that's but a piece of something.
Interesting.
I didn't know they were supposed to mean anything. I thought sending an emoji just means like I acknowledge.
That's the thing.
I acknowledge that you sent me a text. Yeah.
What are your emojis?
My emojis? I don't emoji that. I'll give the thumbs up sometimes. I'll do that thing where you make it go ha-ha, where you ha-ha someone's thing. I'm doing a lot of, I'm trying to be very encouraging. I'm ha-haing everything. You send me a thing, I'll ha-ha it.
I exclam a lot of stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah?
Because it feels like going, hey.
Whoa. You're going like, whoa.
Any information is surprising to me.
All of it, yeah.
I don't know what an emoji is, almost. I do, but I can't find it on my phone. I'm so pissed at my phone right now. I'm so angry with technology. I lose things, and I can't think on a phone. So if I write, and my writing is horrible, but if I write pen to paper, I can actually understand it.
You had a lot of notes when I did your podcast.
Yes.
It was really nice
But
notebook.
did you notice I never looked at them once?
Not one time.
So
There's
Yeah.
a pro.
I want somebody who's just dedicated to stand next to me and do
And
that
just
for
emoji,
me.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
You can
Hey,
do
now.
that.
I want
need
to
an
do, I
emoji
want to do
freelance.
all
Do
of
that.
that.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
A subcontractor.
I really like making stickers out of
absolutely
it.
collaborate on that
I'm
one.
obsessed with making stickers out of
you
things
do.
are fun.
Oh, you're a
Yes.
sticker
Yes.
guy.
I make a lot of stickers. And
The way the sticker cuts off.
Oh, it's
is
always-
odd.
it's always
yeah,
confusing.
They kind of V the shirt or something.
I wish it showed up a little bigger, is my only
me
complaint.
too.
There
I
isn't-
wish you can't zoom in on the
Yeah,
sticker.
They're not great devices.
Do you get to talk to the people in the Apple?
Probably try if you have any ideas
To
or
the
something
people
like
in the
that.
Apple.
Between the two of us, we can
I
get that.
texted them about something really mundane the other day.
When
I
someone is
asked,
wearing
who do
layers.
I talk to? And I said, listen, there's a problem. They're like, oh no, what's going on with the show?
Like the
And I
charger
said-
doesn't go in or
No, I
something?
said the sleep sounds, the rain has birds in it.
Oh yeah, you don't want that.
No, that's a morning sound.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
are they on
True.
it?
What about, would
no.
you go for crickets and bugs and
Yeah,
cicadas?
crickets and bugs are fine, but the birds, they wake me up.
Yeah, it's true. Birds are a signifier that it's morning. Yeah.
So much of our media is served up to us. What does the algorithm think you like?
Dental surgery.
Dental surgery.
There's something I maybe do find morbidly interesting
Okay.
about like before and after.
Oh my God.
I get a lot of before and after dental surgery.
That is a weird niche.
I like it, and also I like dental surgery videos, and also training on how to nail your audition to work in Disney parks.
Is that
Oh,
a
wow.
dream for you?
No.
No, that's okay.
just an
Okay.
algorithm.
But I
But you
find
get
it so interesting.
I know I'm friends with someone who was a Disney princess.
Really?
And,
Okay,
and
here's
she
my
has
question.
Amazing
Okay.
stories.
So say someone is acting as Aladdin.
Yeah.
In a Disney park, right?
With you so far.
Go on.
Okay. Do you go up to them and say, "Watch out for Jafar," or do you go up to them and say, "Congratulations on defeating Jafar"? Where are
Which
they?
Aladdin are
Are
they?
they in the
Where are they in their
I think they're
journey?
nimble enough. They would say thank you. They would
go with whatever
go
you-
with
yeah.
whatever version of it.
It'd be great if there was only one right answer. Completely thrown.
They're just like, what?
Jafar is dead.
I've
Jafar
already defeated
died.
him.
I don't like Aladdin.
Yeah.
You know why? Because in that song, they say, a whole new world, and he goes, don't you dare close your eyes.
Yeah, it's a little aggro.
It's a little
Super
much.
aggressive.
I would-
She can close her eyes if she wants to.
I would ask my friend. I remember asking her, like, I was like, I bet there's a lot of guys who are handsy with the princesses. And she's,
What?
Yes, and she's like, oh, very much so. That's like a big problem. Is like,
Do they have a
yes?
in-character
And I was like,
pivot?
what do you
Yeah.
say? And she said,
no, not today.
Yes, she said the prince wouldn't like that, and that's like the go-to line. I know. That's the go-to line if like someone's perving out on you.
Yeah,
And
my
yeah.
father's
So
a
if you're
king,
watching
he'll
this
kill
and
you.
someone has said to you the
Yeah,
prince
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
like that,
Back
you're
off.
a fucking sicko. Leave Disneyland.
It's funny that she can't say she doesn't like it.
No, it's that the prince wouldn't like that. That's not enough. It was like they proved that doesn't matter. It's like the average man won't care about that. They care that the prince doesn't like it.
Which princess was
Don't
she?
do that.
She was a few.
Don't do that.
But she was like, as Ariel, the Little Mermaid woman, she's like, that was the most, because you're the most exposed from a flesh standpoint. So that was, people were the handsiest with Ariel. And you're in a fish lake,
she's
so
got-
you can't
yeah.
escape. You're
From a flesh
You're like propped up in a
standpoint.
big clam.
Right.
She can't run.
Exactly.
She's got the fish
Yeah.
tail.
So make some Instagrams about that.
Wow. All right. What else does anyone else have?
What does the algorithm think of you?
Yeah.
Apple Music, you know, when you do like
Yep.
John's station or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just plays things. They want me to like this song called like "Time for a Cool Change"
I get
by Little River Band.
I get a lot of your music, your playlist from Spotify. I like your musical taste a lot.
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
there might be some overlap.
I find Spotify a lot of fun. I have like 381 followers, and it's really, I can really see when I get another one. I really like it.
You know, that makes
yeah,
you
it's
feel
fun.
good. I
yeah.
like that.
I make
You have
these
followers on Spotify.
Yeah.
Are you not one? It seems like you're
No,
one
I just
of them.
get, I just like, I'm listening to an album and then below it's like you might like, and it's, you know, always your list.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Wait, what
But
does the algorithm feed you?
Just, man, I'm so
Music
boring.
and stuff.
Well, you know, John's music
John's
taste
music, mostly.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
A couple sports things, some comedy stuff.
I like it. Seth, what do you get served to take us out here?
I get a lot of pottery. Is there? I get a lot of ceramic material on my Instagram, which is great. I get a lot of these guys in downtown LA like spinning their cars in circles in the middle of the road.
Whoa.
They shut down the road and then they spin their cars in
Showtime.
circles. Yeah, or like burnouts or whatever they would call it. Yeah, and then fights. I would get a lot of fist fights. I don't know why. my algorithm, and I don't like videos of fist fights, but I get served up a lot
of
them.
fist fights.
Yeah, a lot of like CCTV footage of like drunk men in 7-Eleven fighting each other. Which I guess I do like now that I talk about it, honestly.
Is it like funny fail stuff?
No,
or is
it's
pretty
not
brutal?
funny at all.
Yeah,
And
okay.
sometimes I'll watch it and be like, now I got to live with that for the rest of the day. Yeah,
It's what Ray J calls ratchet TV.
It's ratchet TV. I get served up ratchet TV and ceramics. So
And
like
so it's a nice balance.
weird balance.
It's a nice
You make
balance.
ceramics,
I
right?
do make ceramics, so I get I follow a lot of ceramicists online, and so I get fed a lot of ceramics.
I have a friend who I don't know if it was earnest or trying to be funny, but like reposted one of your ceramics and saying that he didn't like it, and the hate.
That they got. Don't fuck with them. Do not
come
fuck.
after
Don't fuck
you.
with my ceramics.
Don't come after
My
Seth's
pure
ceramics.
expression of my creative aspirations. That's so funny.
Destroyed.
I'm glad. You know what?
Yeah.
Good. Thank God. As they should be.
Are you very, I would imagine, but are you, for lack of are you very peaceful when you're?
I can be, yeah. And I actually think a lesson I learned from pottery is that, like, I think because I went into it with like no goals and it was just like a fun thing, I realized I would only make the stuff I really enjoyed making, and I was never working towards like a goal. I was only doing stuff that I enjoyed making, like in the moment. Like I tried to make a teapot once, and I was like, oh, I just don't enjoy the act of making a teapot in comparison to other things, and it really affected how I like make movies and television. And that, like, I realized that like this show that we made, it's like I completely reimagined like the process of making a TV show to fit what I actually wanted to be doing all day long, and the type of filming that I personally find to be engaging, as opposed to filming that I don't enjoy on a moment-to-moment basis, but gets me to a product that maybe I like, you know, and it was great, and I've never had more fun probably because
Too many people go into what we do with the goal in mind.
yes,
Famous to
with-
be to
Yes.
be.
To be, yeah. Someone, like a college kid asked me like, what, I want to write for Saturday Night Live so bad. That's my dream. Like, any advice to do that? And I was like, maybe your hope and dream should be to have like a life where you're fulfilled and feel funny and are around funny people. And because that's one job, you know what I mean? That's one job. And it's like if your hope is one trophy, one job that someone else has to give to you,
Oh yeah.
that's brutal.
Yeah. But at least he had a job in mind. I know what you mean too when kids ask or something like, how do you become famous? Not how do I get good at a particular skill, like there's something I really love, how do I do it for my life? It's just
Famous.
very fame-oriented society now, right?
Yeah. On that note, thank you all for doing this.
Really?
Last one.
Comedy Roundtable. I just stopped sweating. We could talk for fucking hours. Are you fucking kidding?
Happiness.
To show business.